here on the last day of International Symposium on Advanced Manufacturing and Materials Engineering. Also wishing you all a good, informative and quality time on this last day. Now I am honored to introduce our first speaker of the day, Professor Dr. Ashwini Kumar Dhingra. Dr. Ashwini Kumar Dhingra is presently working as an associate professor with the Department of Mechanical Engineering, University Institute of Engineering and Technology at Maharishi Dayanand University, Rohtak, Haryana. Dr. Ashwini Kumar Dhingra did Masters from Punjab Engineering College, Chandigarh in 2004 and PhD from National Institute of Technology, NIT Kurukshetra, Haryana in 2011. He has academic and research experience of more than 16 years. His research interests are sequencing and scheduling, meta-heuristics and optimization method, lean manufacturing, modern machining method, biofuels, etc. He has authored more than 50 research papers in reputed international journals, including Science Citation Index and Scopus Index. Presented number of papers, delivered talk as a keynote speaker, and chaired number of technical sessions at the international conference in India and abroad. He has got H index of 6 on Scopus with total Science Citation Index factor of 10. He has also been awarded with International Travel Support Grant twice under Young Scientist by Department of Science and Technology for presentation of research papers in international conferences abroad. He has guided 4 PhDs and many PhD research scholars are working under his supervision and guided around 20 MTech dissertation in the area of production and industrial engineering and other. With this brief introduction, I would like to invite Dr. Ashwini Kumar Dhingra to share the slides and start delivering the lecture. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Mohammed Masood. I'm audible?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir, doctor. Audible.
Okay, sir.
Good morning,
Good
Dr.
morning.
Zahir.
Good morning, Hassan Saab. How are you?
Fine, fine.
Okay, sir. Okay. Screen is visible to all of you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Good morning, all of you. I am Dr. Ashwini Dhingra from Maharishi Dhyanand University, Rohtak. And first of all, I thank Professor Zahir Hassan for inviting me for this lecture in this faculty development program. And all the faculty members, including head of the department of the Institute of Mechanical Engineering. So now the topic of today's presentation for my lecture is Industry 4.0 and Smart Manufacturing. All of us you know that what do you mean by Industry 4.0 and Smart Manufacturing. So let's take a brief about Industry Revolution, what we were for the last starts from Industry 1.0, Industry 2.0, or you can say 2.0, 3.0, 4.0, and also we call it Industry 14.0, 14.0. Now, what is Industry 4.0, 4.0, you can say? It is the fourth industrial revolution, or just another type. In this Industry 4.0, smart devices turning into smart products, turning into smart factories. All of us know the Industry 4.0. We all of us have a smartphones, and we have smart houses, we have smart cars. That is a big revolution since the last 100 years. So, what is the evolution stage of the industrial revolution? It starts from this human scientific progress, what we were in 1900, and as we progress towards up to till 2020, there is a low rate of human scientific progress regarding the industrial revolution leads to industrial 4.0. So let's talk about what we were in 1900. There was analytical engine starts from that for some smaller calculations. Then in you can say World War II developed Colossus electronic computer with 1500 vacuum and so on. Now at this 2020 we have you can say the Apple II in 1980, then we have the Mac Pro, then we have the NVIDIA. This all purpose of this is to increase the computational complexity, increase the computational speeds. So in 2020, this is the you can say this is the you can say the uh, computational process we are achieving. So in by 2045, it's it surpasses brain power equivalent to that of all human brains combined. So you think in 2023 surpass the brain power of women in 2020. It is a projection. That means what? If we are able to perform the mathematical calculation individually, and if we combine all the brains together, then how fast the system will be. This is the basic concept of Industrial 4.0, that we have to combine all the brains together so that the factories will be more smarter and we have the more unmanned production, we can say. So starts from the industrial revolution. We have starting from industrial 1.0, industry 1.0. What is that? It is the first industrial revolution. That means first mechanical loom. That was a mechanical loom engine developed in 1784. And the mechanical loom engine was invented by uh, Edmund scientist Edmund Cartier from England. Started the first mechanical loom system based on the introduction of mechanical production equipment driven by the water and steam power only. This is our first industrial revolution, which was developed by a machine known as first mechanical loom developed in England. Now, as we proceed, because there are some limitations, we have to achieve the efficiency. We have to minimize the losses, etc. Then, as we move on, there was a second revolution. We call it Industry 4. Industry 2.0, and based on the mass production achieved by division of labor concept and use of electrical energy. So as we move from first to second industrial revolution, the mechanical energy converts into the electrical concept, electrical energy. All the machines related to we developed for in terms of electrical energy for the mass production of the you can say the products or articles. Now, as we move, we have third industrial revolution. It uses the concept of the automation. Automation, you heard about the CNC, you heard about the NC. That is the automation based concept. That means something partially automation, not the fully automation. So we have a set of the programs. We have to develop a codes and we have to feed the codes in the machine. Whatever programs we created, we coded, machine will act according to our codes. That is the third industrial revolution. It's a third industrial revolution based on the use of electronics and IT to further automate the production process. So in this 1969, first PLC controller was invented for this concept of the semi-automation with the help of the PLC. Now, there are so many of limitation regarding the first industrial revolution, second industrial revolution, third industrial revolution. Although we are changing very fast, although we are working on minimizing the waste and to achieve the 100% efficient of our industrial system, though working on that, we move towards the fourth industrial revolution. In India, last year, I think our PM Modi announced a mission, a We call it a Samarth Udyog Bharat 4.0. And it is launched by Department of Heavy Industry, Government of India in last year, same period time, maybe in August 2019. So basically, fourth industrial revolution started from 2011, and the final shape given to that fourth industrial revolution in 2015. It is a 4-year long span period. The scientists of the Germany worked on that and finally give a shape to a fourth industrial revolution about the framework of the fourth industrial revolution in 2015. In India, it will take another 4 or 5 years to fully execute the fourth industrial revolution. So, although this is the very new field, if you are working on that, there is a very huge scope for the research, very huge scope for the industrial, uh, uh, for the, for the, you can say, jobs, for the placements, etc. But you have to know the basics of the what is the requirement for the industry in fourth industrial revolution. So it is based on the use of the cyber physical system. That means in the third industrial revolution, we are using the semi-automatic concept. That means we are not including the brain to that machine, those who can think over itself. So in the fourth industrial revolution, we have also included the brain to a machine, that machine or that system who can think itself, what we have to do, what the machine have to do. So there are lot of, you can say, it is based on the cyber physical system. Every machine is interconnected to each other through the cyberspace. So if you have the cyberspace, you need more data. Yeah, there is a data management system concept in this, and the cyber physical system are interconnected with each other. As we go toward the fourth revolution, degree of the complexity will increase. And starts from the first industrial revolution, we have only a mechanical system. We have a mechanical production system, which is driven by the water and steam. That means less complex. As we move toward the mass production system, becomes more complex. And as we move towards third industrial revolution, then again system will be some, some complex. Now in the fourth industrial revolution, everything is interconnected. Whether you are sitting on the remote side, or you can say you have a smartphone, you have the internet, you have the machine. That means more complexity we have to deal with. That means there are more problems we have to in the fourth industrial revolution. Apart from that, it is a very useful for the country, for the world, for, for you can sustaining in the economy of the world. Now, Industry 4.0, that is the industrial revolution, starts from the agricultural revolution. We have to go for the, you can say, the forest, for hunting, for the food. Then we started for the agriculture, farming for the food. Then we come for industrial revolution. Then light bulb developed around 100 years takes to simple web to LED, then moon landing, the World Wide Web, then human genome sequence. Once we started the human genome sequence, the concept of the Industry 4.0 started, because we have to include a brain to the machine, and that brain is the result of the human genome sequence, what the brain will think, and that thinking we have to include in the plant, in the machines, individual machines, and the cyber physical system, so that they can easily manufacture the product automatically. Whatever the losses, whatever the failure they come, they can overrule that. It's what is Industry 4.0? Accelerating pace of change. Then you can see from this example, trying to reach 100 million customers. Trying to reach 100 million customers. Now it is a telephone, takes around so much time, not what 75 years to take 100 million customers, and the internet takes 7 years to reach 100 million customers. Facebook reach 4 years, take 4 years to reach 100 million customers. Instagram 2 years, and Pokemon Go, it's only take 1 month to reach 100 million customers. Means what? Means Pokemon is a game, Android game. 100 million people, 100 million customers play that game in 1 month. That means it is more, you can say, easily accessible to the customer. Customer can easily access whatever they need so that they can prepare according to the customer requirement. This is the main concept of Industry 4.0. 4.0 means what? Uh, Earlier we are focusing on the mass production. Now we are focusing on the mass customization. That means whatever the customer need, we have to manufacture according to the customer need. That means we are shifting from mass production to the mass customization by looking but taking the concern of the customer, what is their requirement, and as per requirement, machine will manufacture the product as per the requirement of the customer. So it is the first mechanism, same thing. First assembly line, automation, programmable logical controller, it's an industry, same concept earlier we have discussed. Now Industry 4.0 means what? We have mechanization starts from the mechanical work. That is mechanical loop. Now then after we have shifted to electrification. Now we have shifted to automation, Industry 3.0. But now in Industry 4.0, 4.0 you can say, we are shifting to the cyber physical system, interconnectivity of the cyber physical system. What do you what is the need of the Industry 4.0? It's a heavy need in industry because we, as India is a developing country, and we have to sustain in this economical world. So we have to compete with the other countries. Other countries are using Industry 4.0, started in 2015, and we have just launched in 2019. After 4 years, we have launched because of the fact we have to compete all the countries in order to sustain in this the economic growth of the world or country, share of the economical growth of the world of India. Now, it is the Industry 4.0. Why we need Industry 4.0? Because it's shorter lead time and the product life cycle. What do you mean by lead time? Lead time means you can say is the time between initiation and the completion of a production process. That means whatever the time needed to start a production and the end a production. It is called lead time. We have to short the lead time in order to achieve the industry more efficiently and quickly, or we can say the product life cycle we have shortened. Earlier, we have a scooter which had a product life cycle of suppose 20 years. Now we have the product life cycle hardly for a year. Every year you are seeing that the so many models of the car, new developments in the car will taking place because of what? Because of the customer requirement. So we have a shorter product life cycle. That's why we have to produce the more product with some as per the customization of the requirement of the customer. So shorter lead time and the shorter product life cycle leads to Industry 4.0. That is quickly, flexibly, and cost efficient. So larger product variants and for both large volume and small quantity. It is because of we need Industry 4.0. This is the framework of Industry 4.0: digitization, automation, connectivity, and analytics. All we have to club together what the customer needs. It is directly connected with the suppliers, directly connected with the manufacturers, directly connected with the logistics. Whatever customer need, it have a direct demand goes to the manufacturer. They they manufacture the product as per customer requirement, and the customer can also monitor the progress of the uh, product, that product is manufacturing as per my need or not. There are so many, including that we have some cyber security, important cloud computing, big data, advanced manufacturing system. It's all the system interconnected in the Industry 4.0. So we have to club the all concepts. Now we have a classical five-layer automation architecture. We have the sensor actuator at machine levels, sense some command and actuate the command by the actuators. It's the machine level, station level, PLC, programmable logic controller. Then cell level, it is SCADA. It is called supervisory control and data acquisition. Cell level, SCADA. Then process level, we have the MES, it is called manufacturing executive system. It is at the process control level. Then we have the factory operation management level, employee resource, enterprise resource planning. We all, it is all connected with the emerging cyber physical system based automation. We call it emerging cyber physical automation. All are connected with the cyber physical system. So in this, it is Industry 4.0. And what is the global market size forecast in 2019 and USD billion? You can say IoT Internet of Things 293.57, big data 115, smart factories 62.98, advanced analytics 29.53, service robotics 15.25, and smart machines 5.3. So in this, smart factory technology will have global market size of 74.80 billion USD by 2022. That means what? It is a global market size forecast in 2019. That means smart machines, service robots, advanced analytics, smart factory, big data, IoT. All are the components of the Industry 4.0. We need IoT, we need the big data, we need the smart factories, we need advanced analytics, we need service robotics and smart machines. That means majority of the global market size of IoT, Internet of Things. If you have the bandwidth, if you have the big data, if you have the cloud space, then you can survive in Industry 4.0. Otherwise, not possible to survive. The majority of the market size of IoT, then big data, then smart factories, then advanced analytics. That means more person can employ in IoT, big data, smart factory, and so on. So we need less labor because we need smart machines. What is 5.3? 5.3 means what? We don't need workers. We don't need engineers. Earlier, we need mechanical engineers to work on the machine, some diploma holder to work on machine. Why? To change the tool, to change the job. We don't require that in Industry 4.0. We need what? We need the persons from the IoT, person from the multidisciplinary field who can work together so that they can survive in the industry. Industry can survive in Industry 4.0 to compete the global market. That is the concept. So why Industry 4.0? Because faster production, we have better quality, we have increased productivity, sharing economy, improved decision making, mass customization. This all Industry 4.0 components. Because of this, we can achieve all the components of we are lagging behind Industry 3.0, 2.0, etc. Industry 4.0, we have to compete, we have to faster the product, we have to increase the quality, increase productivity, so on. Mass customization. I have told you already, we are shifting from mass production to the mass customization. It is the main concept of Industry 4.0. If you don't have the customers, if you don't have to customize the customer requirement, then there is no need of Industry 4.0. Means customers are more aware. Customers are more aware means customer needs as per their requirement. Send the feedback to the company directly, then they can produce the product as per the customer. So we call it mass customization. Earlier, mass production, it is one way to the customer. Whatever the products the industry produce, they can just shift to the customer. And after mass customization, it is interactive dialogue between the customer. Whatever customer thinks, they can achieve as per requirement of the customer. That means increased flexibility in production and manufacturing on demand. Whatever the demand of the customer, we can go by the flexibility. We have to achieve the increased flexibility in the industry 4.0 faster production. This is a simple example. Faster production, 120% increase in time needed to deliver order, 70% increase in time to get products to market. It is analysis of some person. It is just forecast that if we achieve, if we are implementing industry 4.0, we can speed up the manufacturing process and in time to get product to market, 70% time in the product market. So industry 4.0 better quality. You can see number of defects per million units. 1989, suppose 500 defects. In 2050, after this industry 4.0, 12. 99.99% reliability rate. This is the Siemens Smart Factor for customer program and logical control. That is industry 4.0. Better quality we can achieve. Increase productivity, light out dark factories work 24 hours 7. 24 means light out factories. Light out and dark factories means it is fully automatic industry without any involvement of the worker, involvement of the humans. That is unmanned industry. They can run 24/7 for increasing the productivity. Predictive maintenance, it is very important. Increase productivity. That is in you can say industry 4.0. Main issue in the earlier industry 3.0, 2.0 is that we have to halt the manufacturing for the maintenance, and if you're halting the manufacturing line, then obviously there is loss of the productivity. But that loss we can overcome in industry 4.0. That the machines are interconnected with each other, and if you have a line of the machine, and if the one machines can sense what is the error in some parts of the machine, they can self-repair the error, self-repair the wear by changing the tool, by changing the part, so that they can maintain themselves. So in this corrective maintenance, avoid machine failures on the factory floor. That is 50% decreased downtime, 20% increased production, and it is called predictive maintenance. Industry 4.0, all machines are interconnected with the cyber world, physical system cyber world. So they can sense whatever requirement of the machine for the smoother, for the continuous flow, and they are interconnected. If the one machine can sense the breakdown, then automatically all the machine will be stopped until the initial machines can recover itself. So it is a sharing economy, Internet of Things. All are connected. Even every part of the world can be connected to Internet of Things. There are so many examples. Of this. You can buy anything from the internet from any part of the world. It is sharing economy. Any national of any country can buy any product from any country. Improved decision making with access to factory and cross market data. Decision makers can predict, response, and adapt to factory needs and market trends. Means everything is connected. Whatever change in the demand in the market, change the demand of the customer, they can predict in advance and response and adapt. That means more flexibility of the plant system, industry 4.0, and more flexibility means we can change the production line rapidly. We can produce number of products with the same setup. Earlier we are, for example, in the olden days, we have seen that suppose you have the milk production. Earlier we are only supplying the one product of the milk. Suppose you have a milk packet. Now that with the same setup, milk production companies are producing variety of the milk products with the same setup. That means response to the customer demand, and with the same setup, they can flexible change the production line as per the customer requirement in order to survive in the competition. There are so many challenges in industry 4.0. Industry 4.0, we also call it a smart industry, smart manufacturing, or we call it smart factory. So these are terms used by different countries. And Industry 4.0 is a term which was developed in Germany, Industry 4.0, but in USA we call it smart factory, and in India we call it Smart Udyog Bharat 4.0. As every country have its different nomenclature, different, but the concept is same. Whether it is Industry 4.0, whether it is a smart industry, whether it is Smart Udyog Bharat 4.0, it is all the same, mm, same concept. Now we have the challenges. There are so many challenges in implementing Industry 4.0 by 2025. Starts from 2025. Uh, Maybe Industry 4.0 can be implemented at some stage in India, but we have 5 or 6 years to cope up, to adopt that Industry 4.0 concept. That means we have to change our was industrial system. We have to change our from, you can say, start from the scratch. We have to change our existing setup. We have to change our existing logistic system. Everything we have to change by 2025. That means there are so much of technical challenges like communication reliability and QoS. It is related to internet. What we are communicating through internet, communicating in the space that is called communication reliability. So it should be 100% if the machines are interconnected with each other, it should be 100%. Otherwise, slight error will be possible. Then then it is not fruitful for the industry. Now we have the cyber security. It's very important because everything is in the cyberspace. So security of the cyberspace, security of data is very important. So it is a big challenge that our uh, cyberspace should be 100% secure. Now, maturity of the machine intelligence. So we are imparting brain to the machines. We are imparting brain to the industry. That means maturity of the machine intelligence is a big challenge, because if we are imparting the brain to the machines, but we are not imparting the heart and soul to the machine, then there is a big challenge. That means, be clear, uh, we have to impart some type of heart or soul to the machine. They can judge itself what is going wrong, what is wrong for country, what is wrong for industry. That means ethical thinking of the machine should be big challenge. Now, handling big data, so much of data, we require so much of data because everything is a cyber physical system. That means earlier in 1990s or maybe 2000, our internet speed is what, very slow. So no, not possible. Now everyone have the smartphone and 2 GB data per day is free. That means if we interconnect all the smartphones together, so much of big data we have to handle, and we have a cloud system where all data can be stored and anyone can pick data from that uh, cloud space. Handling of big data is a very big challenge in industry 4.0. Now there are some social impacts. Social impacts, it's very important because we are changing from industry 3.0 to industry 4.0. So uh, we need more, you can say, technical expertise, more intelligent people we need. So it is, first we can say, general reluctance to change by stakeholders, lack of adequate skill sets, and third is unemployment. Unemployment is a big challenge because uh, by 2025, it is very important to employ an engineer to industry who can work with the simple mechanical concept, or you can say simple electronic concept, or you can say simple computer concept. We have to be interdisciplinary. We have to be multidisciplinary. Every person can understand the working of the machine. every person can understand the cyber world. Every person can understand the, you can say machine intelligence, artificial intelligence. So we have to be the multidisciplinary person employed. So at layman language, we can say we don't require the skill labor. Skill labor is a big challenge for the countries. We don't require skilled laborers like ITA holders, like diploma holders, because they are working on the machines. But we don't require that type of laborers, workers who works on machine. We need the people who work, who can work on the machine intelligence, who can work, who can judge the machine, the response time, how they can analysis, how they can think, how they can handle the big data. This all type of the person we need, respective of the skill level. So there are big challenges. First is big data. It is the four V's of big data: volume, velocity, variety, and the veracity. Volume, the scale of data; volume, variety, different forms of data; and velocity, analysis of streaming data. Everything is streaming live. So, uh, main example we can say, now we have the streaming devices, what we are seeing on the TV, as per your demand, as per your customization, whatever you like, you can see on the TV. So that industry is changed to say 4.0. Earlier we had Tata Sky City Cable, that is 3.0. Now we have the 4.0. As per our demand, whatever you like, you can see on the TV by streaming data. So analysis of streaming data, veracity, uncertainty of data. You don't know what will be the data, how huge is the data. So it is the uncertainty of it. It is a big challenge industry 4.0. Now this is the one example. One example is autonomous vehicle. Autonomous vehicles are the future of our transportation system, and many developed countries are working on that. So in autonomous vehicle, we need 4 TB per day data. 4 TB per day. It's not possible for every person to take 4 TB data in India. So we have 2 GB, maximum 4 GB, maximum 10 GB, maximum 500 GB. So it is 4 TB per data required for that autonomous vehicle. So it is a big challenge, big data. So it is GPS, we need 50 KB per second. Radar 10 to 70 MB per second. Sonar 10 to 100 KB per second. Camera 20 to 40 MB per second. Radar 10 to 100 KB per second. It is a very big challenge for the autonomous vehicle to communicate with through GPS, radar, sonar, camera, and radar. So it needs 4 TB per data per day. Social impacts, reluctant to change, very important, reluctant to change. So many industries are very reluctant, but it's very important to change. Otherwise, they will obsolete from the market. Industry will be obsolete who will not change. So by 2025, everyone has to change as per the industry 4.0 or industry 4.0. Social impact, structural unemployment to spring from technology in the medium term. Oxford University studied in 2014 that in near future, artificial intelligence technology could take over nearly half of all US jobs. That means we are going towards the industry 4.0 with the interconnected of cyber physical system. So we need more artificial intelligence technology. So half of the US job will take on. But its uh, main important thing you can see, if we are implementing industry 4.0, as per this study, Oxford study, US, half of the US job will lost. But there is another concept. If we don't change to our industry 4.0, then we can lost 100% of the job because we have to change. It's better and creating the new jobs for the person. That means job will not lose. We have to increase our competency in order to survive in the market. So we have to be competent in IoT. We have to be competent in big data. We have to be competent in artificial intelligence. So the more people can employ. But if we don't shift to Industry 4.0, we are reluctant, then surely we will lose 100% jobs. Now, this is very important, social impact. Robots find application in 4D tasks: dull, dangerous, dirt, and dumb. So there are some areas, specific areas where we can't employ the humans. We can't employ the labors. It's very difficult, like dull, dangerous, dirt, dumb. So it is a social impact. Faster, machine will become faster, more precise, able to work in harsh environment, higher initial cost and low running cost. Initial cost may be high, so we need totally change of the setup. But as we proceed, we have the low running cost in order to survive in the market. We can create the product at a good quality product at a very low cost. Then lower initial cost and higher running cost, maybe humans for humans. Now this is Internet of Things. You can say smartphones. Some example, everything gets smart by 2025 in India. So we have the smartphones now. Smart homes, maybe 1 or 2 years. Smart homes. Some are having the smart homes in big cities, metro cities, smart cities. Now we will be smart cars. We have smart factories. So we have to push the technology and pull the market as per the world scenario, world economy to survive in the world. Everything will be smart. Affecting the complete life cycle. These all I have discussed already. Challenges already discussed. Smart products. Product to be manufactured has all necessary information for every step of its production. That means we have smart products. Can you imagine that if we have to fill a jar with 2-liter liquid in a machine, and we have a chip in a jar who can sense itself 2 liters sufficient, and sense means everything is automatic with some intelligence on it. They can judge. Then we have the autonomous production facility, network production facility that into account entire value chain. So we have the development phase. It's all discussed. Now coming to our country, why should India invest in this program? It is a very big challenge for our country to sustain in this globalization. So what we need, we must stay ahead. We need smart solution. It's essential for our economy. So we have to sustain. But what is the meaning of we? We means we all together, not a single person. We the engineers, we the academicians, we the researchers, we have to work together to transform the India industry 3.0 to 4.0, so that to achieve to sustain in the world of globalization as per the current scenario. So we have to change the you can say salary, we have to change our machines, we have to change our scheme of examination. Everything we have to change so that we can train the people as per the industry 4.0. So India today is in the leading position in production of goods as well as production of equipments. We must stay ahead. The world market is undergoing rapid changes: labor cost, quality demand, individualized product, shorter product life cycle. That means we need smart solution. India must keep production in India, or even get production back from low cost. It is very important for our economy. For for the you can supplyment. Then manufacturers will be faced with key decisions on how they plan to compete in this new marketplace that favors competing on value over competing in price. Benefits from Industry 4.0 for the Indian economy. Helps keeping production in India, helps Indian companies to compete successfully, bring leaderships on world markets, needs skilled workers, and gives employment. Speed up the production setup process, a knowledge-based high-tech approach. That means we need high-tech approach, needs not needed skilled workers a lot, as in the Industry 3.0. A knowledge-based high-tech approach reduces complexity but needs a long-term commitment. It is a long-term. Initial cost is very high. Initial cost very high. That means you have to make a plan for the long-term investment. If you want to convert to Industry 4.0, 4.0, then it is a long-term commitment. It's a major uphill and not a smooth change. It's not a single industry solution, but has widespread impact. Needs new skills, needs interdisciplinary collaboration, is closely linked to cloud and big data. So it is the benefit from Industry 4.0 for Indian economy. The market for industrial IT and software is spending about 8% each year. That means what? We have to shift from industrial IT, industrial Internet of Things, double IoT. We have to shift, expanding 8% each year since 2012. You can see every year it is changing because of we are moving towards Industry 4.0, and by 2025 we can implement it. Industry 4.0 will move the manufacturing industry towards service business. In service also, we can implement in every field. So Industry 4.0 not just word but action. Smart factory, the similar concept of Industry 4.0, smart factory concept used in United States. We call it smart factory. So these are the main things we have to consider. Designed to sustainable service-oriented business. We have smart mobility, smart logistics, smart buildings, smart products, smart grids. Everything should be smart. This is the just view of the smart factory. No man, no humans. Opportunity of Industry 4.0 based on cyber physical system and internet things. Today, we are shifting from cyber physical system, shifting to cyber physical system and internet of things. Suppose you have the mobile phones, smartphones, and there is a website we call it Lenskart. You can customize your lens glasses as per the shape of the face, as per your suitability. That is Industry 4.0. You have to order on the Lenskart, and the same exactly frame will be delivered to you within 2 or 3 days. That means there are so many advantages of that. You need not to store the inventory of the products. Just as per the customer demand, you can produce and deliver to the customer as per his customization. This is the one example. Look of that smart factory. Smart manufacturing. It is the future vision. Same concept. It is integration of data with process expertise to enable evidence-based management of the manufacturing. So it is different with the conventional manufacturing, the smart manufacturing. So in we can say earlier days we have to go to some shop to buy a product, and we have to survey all the products, what is the availability in the market and what is the requirement of the customer. It is a big challenge for us. Now in this today's cyber world, it's not a big challenge. You can order what you like as well. 6 elements that make smart factories: flexible manufacturing, automation, robotics, computer-aided design, computer-aided manufacturing, concurrent engineering, computer integrated manufacturing. All terms we know in Industry 3.0, but we have all clubs together in this Industry 4.0. And we have to interconnect it. We have the horizontal communication, we have the vertical communication Industry 4.0, that machine to machine communication, top level to low level communication. Concurrent engineering, we have to compete. Everybody running, we have to compete. Concurrent engineering, flexible manufacturing, flexible, that same setup, same plant, we can change the product easily. So it is the flexible manufacturing. It is a manufacturing system that can produce a variety of products on a single production assembly. So the typical flexible manufacturing system has 3 components: server workstation, computer that control their operations, computer controlled transport system that moves material from one machine to another, in and out of the system, loading and unloading system. It is flexible manufacturing, computer integrated manufacturing. We all know barriers and enablers. There are so many barriers. Incorporating, integrating customer intelligence and demand dynamics. Need for greater affordability in high cost. Operator usability. Protection of proprietary data. Data is proprietary, maybe proprietary. Security of data is must. System interoperability, etc. Enablers, in-house integration is all thing we need in industry 4.0 barriers. Outcomes, very important. What is the purpose of industry 4.0? It's very important. Main purpose is the mass customization, ability to meet customer data demands, openness, visibility, traceability. Next, ability to participate in smart supply chain concept. Smart supply chain, you know, where is your item, what you have ordered, where it is. Like nowadays, you can see you have the Amazon, you have the Flipkart. As the moment you order, message will deliver to your phone, order, and it is packed. It is the message delivered to your phone. It is packed. It is dispatched. This is the number you can break. So it is a supply chain network. Everyone can know where is the order and how long it will take to reach the customer. Ability to model and optimize process in company and across supply chain networks, improve resource use, energy use. We have to optimize. There is a big data. There is a, you can say cloud computing network, servers we have, big data we can store. Everyone can take data and take optimized data already to predict. Now, ability to anticipate and schedule maintenance. And anticipate and schedule maintenance. So it's a big challenge. Earlier, we have a scheduled maintenance of the machine. Now, Industry 4.0, we can anticipate the scheduled maintenance of the machine, or machine can self self maintain. The uh, can take self maintenance for them. Improved use of automated monitoring, normal cartographic events, ability to improve safety, monitoring performance, ability to improve a competitiveness through efficiency, optimization, agility, and all that. These are the outcomes of Industry 4.0. Thanks for the patience, and thank you all. This is the latest topic I want to say. Uh, in our institute, uh, just I'm showing some work. We are working on that smart manufacturing. Uh, just I'm sharing another slides of 3D printing, which is the main concept of. Just wait for 1 minute. I'm sharing. Now, main principle, what we call smart manufacturing. Smart manufacturing. One one term for smart manufacturing is additive manufacturing. Additive manufacturing. All of us know what is additive manufacturing. Earlier, we are using subtractive manufacturing, like lathe, like milling, in which we have to subtract the metal from some workpiece in order to produce a product. And so many disadvantages for that. So many wastage. We need more time for manufacturing. Now, in the smart manufacturing, we are in core manufacturing. We are using the rapid prototyping and 3D printing techniques. We call it additive manufacturing techniques. So in this, in our department, we have a 3D machines. Students are working on that with various projects. You can say MTech thesis, PhD thesis. Some students are working for their PhDs also in 3D printing machines, which is an additive. Uh, this is a sample. These are inventor of 3D printing, Chuck Hull. 3D printing, 3D objects. That means we have to scan the object as per your requirement. Whatever size of the shoes you require. Suppose you have a size of the shoes which is not standard. So you can manufacture with that additive manufacturing. And just scan the size of the shoe, scan the shoe model, and same object will be prepared by the 3D printing machine. So we have this product we have manufactured in our department. It is Lord Ganesha. Uh, we, we, we have prepared. This is our setup. This is a shoe scanner. This is a scanner. You can scan the whatever image you want to prepare. It is 3D scanners available in the market. You can purchase and integrate with the 3D printing machine. Whatever product you want to manufacture, you can scan and feed to the machine. Similar product will be manufactured as per the scanner. There are so many types of 3D printing types you can study on online. It's available online. It is additive manufacturing. So just I'm saying this is the machine in our department. Production process is a basic concept. It is a model, complexity free, no complex. Any complex job you can produce with the help of 3D printing because it is a additive manufacturing. No losses of the waste material. Example pens from the additive manufacturing. These are the examples, very examples. Additive manufacturing. It is a uh, basic component of the smart manufacturing. Without additive manufacturing, you cannot call it smart manufacturing. So any type of you can say job, any type of the product, whether it is a highly complex, which we can't produce, we can produce with the help of additive. 3D printed engines. Nowadays, 3D printed engines with more efficient, more cooling, we can produce with the help of 3D printing machines. Printed structures, these are structures which we have highly complex, we can produce. 3D printed parts, we can produce. Any part we can produce. Implants, very important nowadays. Implants, we need implants for the last since before the last 2 years. We are importing the implants from foreign countries. So like joints, etc. These are the examples. As per the customer demand, whatever customer need, you can produce with the help of additive manufacturing product. These are some examples. As per your demand, whatever you like, you can print. Simple example, goggles. These are the product cakes. Whatever cakes you like, as per the requirement, you can produce in your own with the help of 3D printing machine. 3D printed foods, whatever shape you like of burger, you can like whatever shape you like as per the 3D printed foods. Prosthetics. Earlier we used to take if our fracture take place in our bone, it is very difficult. Now we have 3D printed prosthetics, very lightweight as per the material. These are some examples of the additive manufacturing products. These are some examples. Milling, 3D printing, main difference between the weight of the material, cost of the material. With the 3D printing, cost can be reduced because we have additive manufacturing, not a subtractive. We can save a lot of material also. so many examples. This is a challenge: biomaterials, cells, blood supply chain. We are working on these biomaterials, shifting towards that is so much of research topic. Biofabrication. You can fabricate the parts of the woman, like heart, kidney. Practicing in pre-surgical treatment. Same. Whatever look you like, whatever face you like, through 3D printing, you can change how we think of our bodies. 3D printing, it's all pills. We can manufacture pills with different salts, aspirin, statin, ACE inhibitor in each case, all sorts. Blood pressure medication with the alpha. We can combine all the drugs together. So many issues, so many. Ultimately, you need more knowledge. You have to update with the technology and not stick to the conventional technology in order to sustain in this industry 4.0, which will take another 5 years to understand you the important principles, techniques of industry 4.0. Thanks a lot. Thank you for
Thank
listening.
you. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for such a wonderful and informative session on Industry 4.0 and smart manufacturing. Obviously, the Industry 4.0 is going to be the new revolution in manufacturing. We are grateful for the time you took to share your experience with us. Now, I request the session chair, Mr. Mohammad Nasir Ahmed, Assistant Professor Nawab Shah Alam Khan College of Engineering and Technology, and session co-chair Muhammad Mansoor Hassan, Assistant Professor Nawab Shah Alam Khan College of Engineering and Technology, to take over the proceedings.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir. Hello.
Morning.
Yeah, we can listen you, sir. Nasir, sir, we can listen.
Very informative session. You covered all the points very clearly. Thank you, sir. Sir, we have some questions. My first
Yes.
question is Industry 4.0, whether it is a reality or still it is a vision, especially in India.
In India, it is a vision. I have told you that in 2019, our PM Modi had already launched the Industry 4.0 with the name Smart Udyog Bharat 4.0.
Yes, sir.
It is launched by Department of Heavy Industries by Government of India. So it is a vision for our country. It's not, you can say, it can be reality after 2025. It's very important.
Okay. Can you give the brief regarding the challenges facing by Industry 4.0, especially in security, cyber security?
Yeah, very, very big challenge. Now we are using, you see, smartphones. Smartphones are not secure because we are not concerned with the security. Our data is not fully protected. Everyone can see your data, what you are searching, what you are liking on the internet. Accordingly, they can pop up the ads for you. You see, in smartphones.
Yes,
so our data is not secure. It's a very big challenge for this. We have to cope up with that. We need more specialized person for that, for data security, especially.
Yes. And sir, what is the role of robotics and computer integrated manufacturing in smart manufacturing process?
It is very important. We need robots. We are shifting toward the robotic age. Industry 4.0 is a robotic age, where the robot can think, robot can do a work.
Yes.
And suppose one example, you can look at that some company had developed a robotic mop. Like company MI has started a robotic mop, launching in September this year. But they have taken the orders suppose 2 months back. So they are
Yes.
not producing the product as per the market. They are producing the product as per the customer requirement. So whatever they have ordered, uh, uh, ordered from the customer, suppose 5,000 product, they receive the orders and they manufactured it within 3 months and then deliver. So automatic mop, it is called robotic mop. At night you can start with that robotic, and automatically robot can sense the all floor area, all your house locations in order to achieve the job. So it is a
Yes.
robotic age. But the main drawback is robot do not have any heart
Yes, sir.
or soul. It has only the brain. Whatever they do, they can do, but they don't think uh, ethically.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yeah,
Sir,
good morning.
Okay.
Good morning, sir. This is Dr. Syed Mujahid Hussaini, head of the department, Nawab Shalam Khan College of Engineering.
Yeah.
A very wonderful session, sir. We got a lot of things. Actually, we waited for your session from last 3 days. So it was on Saturday, but unfortunately you are busy, so we are not able to hear. Actually, some participants having some questions, sir. Just I'm unmuting Tilaivanan. So he having some doubt. I think he having some question. He will ask you.
Okay.
So Tilaivanan, please go ahead and ask. Please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
That you are telling about that smart manufacturing, na?
Yeah.
So what are the future scope of smart manufacturing? Can you briefly explain?
Future scope is you can say it is the future of our country.
Yeah.
If we don't implement it, then we will lose our 100% job, and we are lagging behind. We don't have any share with the world economy. So it is very much important for the future of our country and future of our economy.
What about the research scope in this area?
Research scope is very important.
For
Very
new
important.
research scholars.
Very important. Nowadays, India is moving towards Industry 4.0, and there are so much of concepts related to the research. Like one of the students is working on Lean 4.0. So you know Lean 4.0. So Lean means there is always a possibility of improvement. Irrespective, we are moving towards Industry 4.0. We know there are very few losses. Irrespective, we have to improve them through the Lean 4.0. So whether it depends upon the quality, but the main you can say employment, main research area is in robotics. Main research is in mechatronics. Main research area in artificial intelligence. As regard to the mechanical side, you can go for the industrial engineering side like Lean 4.0. You can say supply chain management 4.0. All the previous concept we have to shift towards as per the requirement of Industry 4.0. I think you understand better.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. And there is one more participant, Muhammad Adnan Hussain. Please go ahead and ask your question. Unmute yourself and ask your question.
Good morning, sir. Sir, I have a question that how Industry 4.0 is driving innovation in the wood sector, sir.
Wood sector, very important, very important. I have already told you, Industry 4.0, we have to shift our country in every field of manufacturing to Industry 4.0. Whether it's a wood sector, whatever design you like, you can say online, whatever design you like, you can produce. I think your question is for wood industry, na?
Yeah, exactly, sir.
Okay. Suppose any design you want to prepare, it needs more labor, but with the help of that, you can automatic, you can readily make the you can say cutting work, make your work material to be more compatible, like that. But now we are focusing on manufacturing side. Regarding that wood industry, we have to look it into, and I will search for that.
Okay. Okay,
Right?
thank you very much, sir. Because we are running out of time. Our next speaker also is already joined, Dr.
Okay.
Muhammad Afzal. So just I'll wind up this, and I'm extremely sorry for all the parties because other participants also some questions. I'm not able to take them. Just my last one question, sir. Because as a faculty, as a professor of engineering college, because you told that in this industry 4.0. So artificial intelligence, as well as data clouding, data mining, IoT, all these things are required. So especially the core engineering like mechanical, civil, EEE, actually in our academics, we don't have much syllabus to cover in this kind of areas. This is advanced area. So what is the future of, you feel that, what is the future of our core engineering subject, especially students who is passing out, for them to better career prospectus? So what you suggest?
They have to change as per their, you can say, the market. We can also change the syllabus, but for the students who have already passed, they have to train themselves for the artificial intelligence. Otherwise, the core mechanical will not survive. Core mechanical will not survive. They have to be the multidisciplinary approach related to the IoT, related to the artificial intelligence. They have to improve the skills on their own.
Okay.
So that they can survive.
Okay, my last question, sir. So, as a mechanical professor, we want to merge mechanical with these advanced topics. So, where is the scope we have to merge it? So, how we can merge it? Because you're a mechanical engineer, I am also a mechanical engineer. So, for me, artificial intelligence, if you take IoT, it's a little different thing. So, how I can merge, how we can merge these together and offer some kind of courses to our student who's already graduated, or maybe who's pursuing in final year or maybe third year. What is your suggestion on this?
I think some good private universities are already running the courses, like BITS Pilani running in the courses of that. So you can go through that. You have to integrate the syllabus as per the requirement of Industry 4.0 for the students, or for the, I think in future there is lot of scope in Industry 4.0. So there is a huge demand by 2025. So because every industry needs some consultant, every industry needs some researcher. So it's better to work start from now, so that after 5 or 6 years you will be more capable.
Definitely. Actually, previously I was in BITS Pilani. I done my PhD as well as I worked in BITS Pilani. Definitely will take something from BITS Pilani, and definitely will try to follow this. Thank you very much, sir, for your informative session, and request Mansoor to please wind up this session and please go for next session. Take to Mansoor, Mohammad Mansoor.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, Nasir sir, and Dr. Syed Mujahid Hussaini sir for your discussion.
Thank you.
Now I request Dr. Syed Mujahid Hussaini for a vote of thanks.
Thank you again to giving me this opportunity. The wonderful lecture, sir. So really, because I told you, we are waiting from almost, actually this session, I want this Industry 4.0 session, I want the opening session of this symposia, because your busy schedule, I think we are not make it. And anyway, we are very, very fortunate that we are listened your lecture session from last 1 hour. I think it's looking like more practical approaches. Maybe you've seen the questions from the participant as well as questions from me. We are more worried after listening your section, if you speak, because as a mechanical engineer, we need to look for something else also. Whatever our curriculum, whatever the things are there, it is not sufficient to get a better career for our students. So really, based upon your suggestions, we are trying to conduct a few kind of sessions. If possible, we will take help from the faculties from BITS Pilani. We having good friends are there in BITS Pilani. Even some of the speakers also is there in our session previously in faculty development program. Few speakers invited from BITS. So inshallah, definitely as per your suggestion, we'll go ahead, sir. Thank you very much for your wonderful, enlightening lecture. So merging academics with industry, especially 4.0, it is really is an essential requirement, especially in this COVID-19 time, post-COVID-19 time. So all the industries are struggling. So similarly, our education industry also struggling. So we need to look for education industry also 4.0. So definitely, people like you, people like us, if you come together and need to make some kind of thing, so that in future, not in the Western countries, even in India, also become leader in this industry 4.0. Thank you very much for your wonderful session, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now I request Dr. Zahir Hassan, sir, Director R&D and convener of the event, to convey vote of thanks. Dr. Zahir, sir.
Dr. Ashwani,
Ji.
you deliver a nice lecture. Industrial revolution change slowly.
Yeah.
We are very much thankful to you. But I felt you are changing very fast.
Yeah. Yeah, because of COVID-19.
Okay, thank you very much. Please join today for our validity session if you have time.
Yeah, sure.
If you have time, please join us.
Okay, I will try. Right,
Okay,
thank you.
thank you. I also welcome to our second speaker, Mohammad Afzal. Mohammad
Thank you,
Afzal.
Zahir, sir.
Hello.